Review time, guys. So, where are we going? Oh yeah, we're going to the moon, everybody. Because we're doing a review of Fate Extella Link. For crying out loud, a lot of spaghetti spilled out of my pockets. My goodness. A lot of spaghetti spilled out of my pockets this very moment. Anyway, so Fate Extella Link is the sequel to Fate Extella The Umbral Star on the PlayStation 4, the Switch, the PC, and the PlayStation Vita. However, Fate Extella Link reaches Steam, PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, and Nintendo Switch. And, yeah, Steam as in PC version. Yeah. But anyway, let's keep on right on going. It picks off right where the first game left off. And however, it centers around the new characters such as Charlemagne, well actually mostly Charlemagne, because basically Charlemagne is basically the center of the story, as pretty much Master and the other servants have to pretty much work with Charlemagne to basically stop a new threat from trying to take over Seraph. Obviously, I mean, let's be honest here. I'm going to go ahead and start off with the bad, just like what happened with Dead or Alive 6. Hey, it's not worse like the costume unlock system in Dead or Alive 6 this time. Anyway, let's keep right on going. So, let's get right on going. The bad first. Okay, now the game does have multiplayer, but however the netcode does need improving. So the multiplayer, I will elaborate on the multiplayer later in the video. So right now I'm just getting through the flaws, what's going on, so let's keep on going. So yeah, the netcode does need some improvements, of course. I've had ran into some laggy matches here and there. And also, it's single player, multiplayer. It's this one map where it has that one area. If you step into that one area in that map, it'll cause like a huge frame drop. All of a sudden, I don't know what's going on. Me and the Steam community over there are probably calling it like bad optimization, optimization issues. It could be optimization issues, but pretty much you go in that one area, your frame starts dropping like mad, and the game does run smoothly, but until you run into that one area in that one map. Alright, now that we got the bad out of the way, let's go through the good. Now, as said, the single-player story mode focuses entirely on Charlemagne, and pretty much the story centers around Charlemagne. As pretty much there's this new threat hitting up Seraph, and then the guys over at Seraph has to pretty much figure out things with Charlemagne and how to deal with that new threat. Whatever there is. But, however, the story does get interesting. It does get very, very interesting. And, however, if you've played the first game, you're gonna get hit with some very odd things, but however, it's just basically down to a point where it's up to you to interpret things. So with the situation going down and how the events of the first game are, that's all I gotta say. But however, do expect some very interesting things, and do expect to interpret some very things. However, you do get some very interesting things, and however, the servants are still fun, especially the new guy, Charlemagne. And pretty much as soon as you pretty much get to what's going on with Charlemagne, and you get the hang of what's going on with Charlemagne, you kind of realize he's a great guy. Now, let's get right on to the gameplay. Actually, as a matter of fact, let's take gameplay and design and combine it together, because this is where Extella Link really becomes what it wants. And what Fate Extella Link wants to be is this huge revision of gameplay and graphics. You're going to end up seeing hugely revamped graphics all around the board. The character models, the levels, basically everything is a huge improvement over the Umbral Star. And it's just this huge, huge big thing. And also the gameplay has been revised. For example, there are 2 ways you can fill up your gauge in order for you to use your Noble Phantasm. And also, Moondrive operates very differently this time around. And however, the way combos work and the way the super moves kind of work is that pretty much moves have been pretty much moved to the active skills bar by pressing your right bumper and then hitting a specific button around here. So pretty much as you level up your character, you unlock more active skills. It's just everybody's moves kit's getting readjusted for the sole purpose. The combos are just going to be basically the basic stuff. But however, if you want to go ahead and pretty much have fire shoot from Tamamana Waifu's hands, you can just pretty much hit the right bumper and then hit the Y button, and then she'll go and just spray fire on everywhere. And also, her usual flurry of kicks along with flying people up midair and then flying people forward, that's also an active skill too. So any hyper combo enders is just going to be moved up to the hyper skill. That's another example. Also, there's new conditions such as rescuing your master, protecting your master, basically taking out saboteurs, chasing everything around here, and pretty much you just can't ignore every main quest, because if you screw that up, game over. It's not going to be about the sector things. So if you complete the assigned missions, you don't need to worry about taking over sectors unless you're wanting to go for the EX rank. So you just go ahead, complete your missions, and then you'll summon the boss for the stage, and then take that boss out, and it's going to be good. So the pacing's going to work very differently, and actually the pacing has been pretty much, well, it's much faster compared to Umbral Star. I'm not even kidding. And also, another thing to keep in mind, we'll just jump right on to the home base. The home base mechanic when it comes to Fate Extella Link is a very interesting addition. You just have you and your master that you're interacting with. You're basically running and frolicking around the base, talking to servants left and right. You go into your room, you can interact with your servant, customize your servant, or you can pretty much just fly yourself into the rooms of servants, because the servants get their own rooms, so you can just work through there and all that. Or you can go to your barracks and then work on your next mission, which is very interesting. And speaking of missions, the way you pick missions this time seems to operate very differently. Now, you do have the extra battles where you do have like the additional missions, kind of plays like a little additional missions when you're done with the story missions. So it is pretty good. You do get plenty of them, which is really great. But however, the way the single-player campaign works in Extella Link is pretty much you could just pick any mission in this timeline here, while you can go ahead and go into all of the story missions as any servant you like. So that's something interesting. That's a huge thing. That's different from Umbral Star, where you had Nero where you have to play as Nero on that one thing, play as Tamamo on the second, play as Altera on the third, and then basically on the fourth go in as Nero. Now let's talk about the multiplayer. Now, multiplayer's progress is different. Your single player stuff isn't going to carry over. As a matter of fact, multiplayer and single player have separate processes, or separate progresses. So basically, anything you do in multiplayer ain't going to carry over to the single player. Anything you do on single player ain't going to carry over to the multiplayer. It's its own new little thing. And yeah. Also, when it comes to the multiplayer, you do have 4 versus 4. It kind of works on taking on central points from left and right. And also, if you have played Fate Grand Order Arcade, you'll find yourself familiar with that. And pretty much, keep in mind that you're playing with other players. So be sure to basically figure out your strategies, know the game rules. Actually, if you have to, do a couple of bot matches that'll help you get the hang of it until you finally start getting the hang of it. But as soon as you start getting the hang of the multiplayer, it is really fun. I've had a blast, and boy, oh boy, it was great. However, the netcode does need some improving, yes, but however, this game needs more players, because really the multiplayer is just interesting and just a fun little, interesting little addition. Now, as for the sound quality, great. The music of the game is fantastic, especially when you kind of listen to the intro theme. And why, yes, the intro's animations could use a little more increase on the frame rate. It's kind of stellar and great. And pretty much you have that catchy theme. And also you do have this great ending theme song, which is just beautiful. However, the soundtrack of the game is just great and just amazing all around. It's just, I like Fate Extella Link's soundtrack more than Fate Extella Umbral Star. Fate Extella's focuses are basically just kind of like revamping gameplay, revamping graphics, and also bringing out this storyline where Charlemagne becomes the center, and pretty much all of them executes very well and very great. Fate Extella Link is a huge improvement over Umbral Star, and it's a damn well impressive improvement, and it's really great. However, if you haven't played Fate Extella and the Umbral Star, go ahead and play that, but do go ahead and play the sequel, Fate Extella Link, because Fate Extella Link is a great sequel, and it is impressive. You don't have to play the first game in order to do that. Actually, as a matter of fact, this is where I stop myself right there. Cut to the chase. What's the overall rating for this game? What is the overall rating for this game? Ladies and gentlemen, 86%, thus landing Fate Extella Link with a B+. Extella Link is a hugely improved sequel. Not only that, but a fantastic game. I have really enjoyed this game to the fullest, and boy oh boy, I got hooked to the story, and I love the revamped gameplay and the revamped graphics. It is just amazing, and the character models now finally see the improvements, and boy oh boy, you'll be really impressed if you are to come into Extella Link coming out of Umbral Star, because you're going to be damn well impressed at how this game hugely improved. It's astounding. Anyway, that's going to do it for you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. I got a lasagna to cook. I'm taking over for dinner.